Hello, good day. Let's start this new lesson for Unreal Engine 5.7.2.
Hello, good day, welcome back. This video will continue to work on the locomotion system. It will work on the crouching system. So let's get started. So let's go to the content drawer. We need to go to the folder with the crouch. So that's this folder here. Right click, go to animation, legacy, then go to blend space 1D. You need to choose the skeleton, it will be the SK mannequin. I will call this, well, rather than new blend space, we'll call this crouch. So to be crouch blend space, and we will double click and open it. So the name will be speed. The minimum will be 0. The maximum, I think it's supposed to be 350, but I'm gonna just double check. I need to go to the third person. I need to go to the character movement. Let's look for crouch. Crouch. Max walk speed is 300. Yeah, max walk speed crouch is 300. Yeah, that's it here. So go to the crouch for 300. Save in the meantime. So for here, you'll just type crouch. You select crouch. You'll just add the crouch here. You're not going to use any fancy transitioning, so you'll just type crouch. You just use the crouch. And for the walk, we just drag here and drag this inside. Save. So to test this out, you'll go here, hold on Control on the keyboard and drag the mouse. Okay, so this is moving. So this has root motion on it. So we need to go to this animation. So I'll take off this in the meantime. Need to go to this animation, crouch walk. So I'll go to this. I'll go to the asset details here. So we need to go by root motion. So all I need to do was click force root lock. I then need to click enable root motion. So this is all you need to do. Click force root lock. Remember, this is Unreal Engine 5.7.4. I'll save. So this is working. If you want to see the blend space, suppose about crouch blend space. So just double click this, hold on Control, drag this. So this is working. So go to here, the animation blueprint. Need to go to the anim graph. So we'll close off some of these things. So we only have the event graph and the anim graph as the two tabs up here. So you need to right click and create a new state machine. We'll call this state machine crouch. Compile and save. We're saving now because once we start to add nodes and transition, you can't save until we can't compile until we add all the transition rules. So we are now in here. From one time, you will create a new cache pose, well, save cache pose. So click new save cache pose. You'll type crouched. We'll align this. Compile. We can't compile because we created the transition. There's nothing inside here, so we could save in the meantime. So what we'll do, we'll drag from here, create a state. We'll call this crouch locomotion. Double click and open this. Now we can add this crouch blend space. align this, compile, save, and then we'll just connect this speed. We already have a variable with the speed. This speed is already getting information from the event graph. I'll just align everything, compile and save. So you can come back out of here now. Come back out of here now. So we have the crouch state machine already set up. So now we have to use it. So I'm going to main, right click, add state. I call this crouch locomotion. So now I'll just create the transitions. Connect from here to here. Then from the crouch locomotion back to here. So let's do a transition rule from on arm to crouch. Double click and open this. So we need to create a variable, and the variable will be called is crouch. This variable needs to be a boolean because it's either a crouch or you're not crouch. So it's a true or false variable. Can save. Can't compile because we didn't complete the transition rule. So what you can do, we drag this and connect this. Then we could just highlight everything, then press Q to make it align. So if this is true, if we are crouched, then we can go ahead and transition to the crouch state. So we could save and then go back. You can go to this one, double click. Then this will be a not boolean. So if this is crouch, get is crouch, drag from here, not boolean. So if you are not crouched, then we can go back to the normal state. Highlight everything, press Q, and save. So the next thing you'll need to do is to go to the, let's come out of this first. Go to the main. Go to the animal graph here, close off this. So we need to go to the event graph. We need to go to the event graph. We have the variable is crouch. Drag this here, and we need to set this. So you set in, if it's crouch, we'll connect this. And then we need to, you can compile, you could save. Then we need to go to the blueprint for the character, and we need to create a variable. Variable is crouched, compile, and save. You know what? I'll call this crouch, just crouch, because I don't want to confuse this with the other variable. So just have this as crouched, compile, and save. Then go back to the event graph in the animation blueprint. We need to get our character. So we can get the character here. Get the character, or we can just duplicate this, it didn't really matter. We can drag from this and type crouch. So get crouch, not is crouch, we just get crouched. That's the variable just created. Compile and save. And then we could just connect this here. Could highlight everything, press C, and type is crouch. Compile and save. So now what we need to do is enable and disable the crouch. So we go back to the blueprint for our character, and we need to go to the event graph here. Before I do anything, I need to create an input action. So we'll go to input actions. So we are input actions folder here. Right click, go by input action, IA underscore crouched. open this up. Okay, so this is already a boolean, so you don't need to change anything here. So if you close this up, what I'll just do, I will change this from crouched to crouch. So I'll just rename it as crouch, leave it like that. So now what we need to do is go to the input mapping context. So we'll double click and open this up. So now we need to add the mappings. So these are the mappings we have currently right now. There's jump, there's move, there's look. For the actions, jump, look. Okay, so there's look and there's mouse look and there's move. So you need to add another one. Call this one IA crouched. Then you need to open this up and you need to add a key. So click this keyboard here and press any button. The button on the keyboard that you'll press will be left control. Now you can just save this. So now that this key is now created, you can close off this. You can go back to the blueprint here and then you can create the inputs for crouch. So right click and type in IA, just type crouch. Type IA, well, enhance action events. So IA underscore crouch. And then you can click this button to open it up. Well, give it to open up this part. So now what you can do is go from started and you can do a flip-flop. So we have a flip-flop. How a flip-flop works is that the first time you press the button, it will do A. The second time you press the button, it will do B. The third time you press the button, it will do A. So that is generally how a flip-flop will work. So if you have the first option as A as crouch, the first time it will crouch, the second time it will not crouch, the third time it will crouch, and the fourth time it will not crouch, and so on. So what we'll do, we'll drag from here, we'll set the crouch. I'll just duplicate this one time. So the first time it will set the crouch to true. So click this, it will be true. The second time it will set the crouch to false. And it is false because nothing is inside here. Compile and save. So the next thing we need to do is go to here, the animation blueprint. We need to go back to the anim graph. You need to go crouch. Let's go to main. You need to go in here, crouch locomotion. You can drag from here, type cache. Use cache pose crouched. Compile and save. Now to go to level, we press play, walk around. We can crouch. We can walk in crouch mode. I can come out of crouch. So this is working. We'll go back to the blueprint for the third person character. We can get the character movement. Set the max walk speed. Set max walk speed crouched. We'll connect this. This should be 300. We'll do the same for this. So just duplicate this. Control plus D to duplicate this. Can connect this. The max walk speed. This will be 600. We'll just connect this. Compile and save. Now if you go to level and press play, we can move around at this speed. Now if you press crouch, you know that now we are crouching slower than if we are Right, you're running here, running way faster. So this is better. So the next thing you'll know from the some of the open world games is that when you're crouched, the camera kind of like zooms out a bit then. So to do that, we can bring the camera bloom here and we can set the arm's length. So drag from here, type set arm, target's arm length. So I'll do the same, but I'll duplicate this, connect this here, connect this here. So to see the arm's length, current arm's length of the camera, we select the camera here and we can look. We can see right now it's 400. So we can put, this will go back to 400. And I could make this zoom out a bit. So you could put like, let's say 550. Compile, save, go to level, press play, press crouch. I just zoomed out a bit and we zoomed in. So you go back to the blueprint. Now the arm length is working, yes, but I mean, we want to make this smooth. We don't like this kind of snapping. We want it, I mean, it's a game we're playing and trying to entertain people. So I mean, you want to make this smooth. So what we'll do is drag from here and type add timeline. And we'll call this crouch calm distance. You can name this whatever you want, but I'm just working with this name. So hold on Control on the keyboard, drag this here, play from start, compile and save. Then with regards to this, what we will do, drag from here, reverse from end. Since this will reverse from the end, we don't really need this. So we can just click this and delete this. I'll compile for the time being, compile and save. Then I'll double click and open the timeline. Need to add a track, add flow track. This track will be called cam length. So for the length, I'll make this short. I'll make this just 1 second. Then we right click and add a keyframe. For the time, 0. For the value, it's also going to be 0. So we'll go to the origin right here. Then we can right click again. Anyway, add a keyframe. The time, you put this as 1. The value, you put the value as 1. So what we'll do to make sure it shows, click this, and then you click this, zoom to fit vertical. So it's filling the screen here so you can see it. Then I'll compile, I'll save. So this timeline here will essentially be a linear interpolation. So we don't need this anymore. Well, we done do everything we have to do. So I'll close it off. And then I can just drag from here and type loop. So what I'll do, I'll hold Control on keyboard, click this with left click, and drag to here into alpha. For the A value, you put 400, so it will start at 400, and then it will go to 550. And we'll connect this as a return value into the arm length. Compile and save. You see how there's more than one way to do something in Unreal? Now to test this out, go to level, press play, and what we can do, we press crouch, I actually zoomed out. Now press crouch again, so press left control, and you're zooming in. So I mean, it's looking nice. I mean, yeah. The camera is moving. So I mean, it's a game we play and we want to entertain people. So I mean, yeah, this is good.
That is it for this lecture. Do you want to learn more? Like and subscribe. You can also contact us, Impulse Response Enterprises Ltd.